The fight isn't won by turning, it's won by energy. Most players lose dogfights before the first shot is even fired. Not because their aim is bad, not because their plan is worse. They lose because they give away energy. If you don't understand energy fighting, you stop reacting to enemies and start controlling the entire fight. For combat, energy is everything. Every climb, dive, turn, and escape depends on it. The pilot with more energy chooses when to attack, when to disengage, and when the enemy dies. Today we're breaking down what energy actually is, how boom and zoom works, when to climb or dive, how to reset fights, and how to instantly recognize who has the advantage. Energy is made up of two things: speed and altitude. Think of it like money in a bank account. Speed is the cash you can spend immediately. Altitude is stored for later. The higher you are, the more speed you can create by diving. You trade altitude into speed, or speed into altitude. That's the entire foundation of energy fighting. A fast plane low to the ground may have equal energy to a slower plane high above it. The goal is simple: always have more usable energy than the enemy. Why? Energy gives you options. If you're faster, you decide when the fight starts. If you're higher, you decide how the fight develops. If you have both, the enemy is basically surviving on borrowed time. A low-energy pilot is forced to react. A high-energy pilot controls positioning, engagement distance, attack timing, and escape routes. This is why experienced pilots rarely stay glued. This is why experienced pilots rarely stay glued into endless turn fights. Turning burns energy fast, and once you're slow, you become predictable. That's not right. Zoom and zoom is the purest form of energy fighting. The idea is simple: attack fast, leave faster. Step 1. Start above the enemy. Step 2. Dive to gain speed. Step 3. Make one high-speed attack pass. Step 4. Climb back up before the enemy can react. That's it. You're not trying to turn with them. You're using gravity and speed to strike safely. Good boom and zoom pilots never stay low after an attack, because the moment you stay down there turning, you throw away your advantage. Okay, now this. Knowing when to dive or climb is what separates average pilots from dangerous ones. Dive when you need speed quickly, you're attacking, escaping, or extending away. A dive converts altitude into speed, but once altitude is gone, it's hard to get back safely. Climb when you're disengaged, the enemy is recovering, or you want to rebuild advantage. A climb converts speed into altitude, but climbing while slow and exposed is dangerous. That's how pilots get caught hanging helplessly in the air. Never climb slow near an enemy. Never dive without a reason. Every altitude change should give you an advantage. Once One of the biggest mistakes players make. They commit to losing fights. A good pilot reset. One of the biggest mistakes uh one of the biggest mistakes I made is reading. One of the biggest mistakes players make. They commit to losing fights. Good pilots reset. If the enemy gains the advantage, don't panic turn, don't force the fight, and don't keep bleeding energy. Instead, extend away, build speed, create distance, then fly back into a better position. Energy fighting is about patience. Sometimes the smartest move is refusing to fight entirely until conditions improve. Resetting turns chaos back into control. You should constantly ask, who has more energy right now? Usually the advantage belongs to the pilot who is higher, faster, or both. You likely have the advantage if you're above the enemy, you can choose to engage or leave, you still have speed after maneuvers, or the enemy is struggling to climb. You're likely You have the disadvantage if you're slow, low altitude, stuck turning, or forced to do defensive maneuvers constantly. A huge mistake newer pilots make is confusing temporary positioning with actual advantage. Because someone is behind you doesn't mean they control the fight. If they're fast and overshooting while you retain energy, you might actually be winning. Mistake 1. Turning too much. Every unnecessary turn burns speed. Mistake 2. Staying too low after an attack. If you boom and zoom, leave immediately. Don't get greedy. Mistake 3. Climbing while slow. You become an easy target. Mistake 4. Tunnel vision. Energy fighters constantly scan the sky. A second enemy above you changes everything. Mistake 5. Panic pulling. Hard turns feel safe, but usually destroy your energy state. Smooth control keeps energy alive. Energy fighting isn't flashy, but it wins fights consistently. The moment you stop thinking, how do I outturn this guy, and start thinking, how do I control the energy? Dogfights start making sense, because the best pilots don't just fight enemies. They control the entire battle before the enemy realize they've lost. Altitude is insurance, speed is life, energy is victory. Okay.